Learning English can be one of the most exciting and rewarding journeys of your life. Whether you want to travel, study, work, or simply connect with more people around the world, improving your English skills will open many doors. And the best part? You don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to learn everything at once. What you need most is the confidence to begin. In this book, you will discover 10 simple and powerful tips to help you learn English faster and speak with more confidence. These tips are especially useful for beginners, but even if you've been learning for a while, you'll find them helpful and practical. You don't need expensive classes or perfect grammar to make real progress. What you need is the right mindset, regular practice, and a belief in yourself, and that's exactly what you'll get here. Let's be honest, starting anything new can feel scary. You might worry about making mistakes or feel nervous about speaking. Maybe you've tried before and felt stuck. But here's something important to remember. Everyone learns at their own pace, and everyone starts as a beginner. No one speaks perfectly when they're just starting, and that's okay. Even native speakers make mistakes. So take a deep breath, let go of your fear, and remind yourself that it's okay to learn step by step. Confidence doesn't mean knowing everything. It means being willing to try. It means saying, I might not get it right today, but I'm learning and I'm growing. Confidence is the key to learning any new language, especially English. When you believe in yourself, you're more likely to speak, to practice, and to keep going even when it's hard. Throughout this book, you'll find tips that are easy to use in daily life. You'll learn how to practice speaking even if you're alone, how to make vocabulary stick, and how to improve your listening and pronunciation. You'll discover creative techniques that make learning fun and less stressful. These are not just study tips. They are real tools to help you feel more comfortable and confident when using English. This journey is about progress, not perfection. Every new word you learn, every sentence you speak, every mistake you make, it's all part of your improvement. And the more you practice, the more natural English will feel. So, are you ready to begin? Remember, the most important step is the first one. You don't need to wait for the perfect time or perfect method. Start today with what you have and grow from there. Believe in yourself. You are capable of learning English, and you can do it with confidence. Let's start this journey together. One step, one word, one conversation at a time. In the next chapter, we'll begin with your first tip: how to let go of perfection and focus on what really matters, being understood. Tip 1. Forget perfection, focus on communication. When learning English, many people feel pressure to speak perfectly. They worry about grammar, pronunciation, and using the right words. This focus on perfection can actually slow down learning and create fear of making mistakes. But here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be understood. The main goal of learning a language is communication, not perfection. If someone understands what you are saying, you are already succeeding. Imagine saying, I go to the store yesterday. The grammar isn't correct, but the meaning is clear. You went to the store yesterday. That's what really matters. People will understand you even if you make small mistakes. In fact, most native English speakers make mistakes too. They forget words, change their sentences halfway through, and don't always speak with perfect grammar. So why should you expect yourself to speak flawlessly? Making mistakes is not something to fear. Mistakes are an important part of learning. When you make a mistake and then correct it, you remember it better. It becomes a lesson that helps you improve. That's why it's important to speak as much as possible, even if you're unsure. Every time you speak, you gain more confidence and learn something new. To move past perfection, start by changing your mindset. Tell yourself, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm learning. Focus on the message, not the form. Speak slowly and clearly so others can understand you. Smile and show confidence, even if you're nervous. People will usually respond positively when they see you are trying. Another helpful tip is to practice with people who support you. Talk with friends, family members, or language partners who are patient and encouraging. This will help you relax and speak more freely. Also, try speaking to yourself in English at home. Describe what you're doing, talk about your day, or repeat things you hear. The more you speak, the less afraid you'll be of making mistakes. Remember, your goal is to connect with people and express your thoughts, not to be a perfect English speaker. Fluency comes from practice, not from being right all the time. So be brave, be patient with yourself, and keep speaking. You will improve every day, and your confidence will grow as you focus on communication over perfection. Tip 2. Practice shadowing, like a pro. Shadowing is one of the most powerful and enjoyable ways to improve your English. It helps you practice both listening and speaking at the same time. The technique is simple. You listen to a native English speaker and then immediately repeat what they say, copying their words, speed, and pronunciation. You act like their shadow, following every movement of their voice. Over time, this helps your speech become more natural and fluent. To begin shadowing, choose a short video, podcast, or audio clip in English. It's best to start with something easy and interesting to you. Watch or listen to a sentence, then pause and repeat it out loud. Try to match the speaker's tone and rhythm as closely as possible. Don't worry if you don't get it perfect the first time. Repeat it several times until it feels more natural. Shadowing helps you in many ways. It trains your ears to understand real English sounds, improves your pronunciation, and teaches you the rhythm and flow of natural speech. It also builds your confidence because you are practicing speaking without needing to create your own sentences from scratch. As you get better, you can shadow longer and more difficult materials, such as speeches, movie scenes, or interviews. Another great benefit of shadowing is that it teaches you how native speakers use language in real life. You'll pick up on common phrases, sentence structures, and even slang. You'll begin to think in English more easily because you're repeating the way English sounds naturally. This helps you speak more smoothly and express yourself with less hesitation. Here are a few tips to make your shadowing more effective. Choose materials with subtitles or transcripts when starting out. This helps you see the words as you hear them. If you're unsure how a word is pronounced, listen carefully and repeat it multiple times. You can also record yourself and compare it to the original speaker. This helps you notice where you need to improve. Most importantly, practice regularly. Even just 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Shadowing is like a workout for your English skills. Just like exercising your muscles, the more you do it, the stronger your English becomes. It's fun, flexible, and can be done anywhere, anytime. As you continue, you'll find yourself speaking more confidently, understanding English better, and even thinking in English without translating from your native language. Now that you've learned how to shadow like a pro, get ready for the next step in your learning journey, using creativity and storytelling to make new words stick in your memory. Tip 3. Make stories with new words. Learning new vocabulary can be difficult if you only try to memorize lists of words. It's easy to forget them quickly if they don't mean anything to you. One of the best ways to make new words stick in your mind is by using them in your own short stories. When you create a story, you connect the new vocabulary to ideas, emotions, and situations. This connection helps your brain remember the words more easily. Let's say you just learned the words cat, happy, and play. You can build a simple story like this. There was a happy cat who loved to play in the garden. It may be a short sentence, but it gives the words meaning. You can imagine the cat, see it playing, and even feel its happiness. That mental picture helps you remember the vocabulary because it's now part of a fun and personal story. The stories don't have to be long or complicated. Even 2 or 3 sentences are enough. The key is to use the new words in context. Try making a habit of writing one small story every time you learn a few new words. Keep a notebook or digital journal just for these stories. You'll be surprised how quickly your vocabulary grows and how much easier it becomes to use the words in conversation. This method also makes learning more fun. Instead of just repeating words over and over, you're using your creativity. You're turning language practice into a game where you can invent characters, places, and events. This keeps your mind engaged and makes studying feel less like a chore. You can also share your stories with others. Tell them to a friend, teacher, or language partner. Ask them if they understand your story and be open to feedback. Speaking your story out loud will help you improve both vocabulary and pronunciation. It's also a great way to build confidence because you're using the language in a real and meaningful way. Remember, the goal is not to write perfect stories. The goal is to use new words actively. The more often you use a word, the faster it becomes part of your everyday English. So don't be afraid to be creative. Even silly or funny stories are helpful if they help you remember. Over time, you'll find that you can speak more easily and describe things more clearly. Vocabulary will come to you naturally, and you'll feel more confident when you speak. So pick a few new words today and try turning them into a story. It's a powerful tool for learning. Tip 4. Stay calm and keep learning. One of the most important but often overlooked tips for learning English is to stay calm and relaxed. When you're relaxed, your brain works better. You can remember words more easily, form sentences more smoothly, and feel more confident while speaking. But when you're nervous or anxious, it becomes difficult to think clearly, and you might forget even simple words you already know. That's why it's so important to stay calm during your English learning journey. Many learners feel pressure to speak perfectly or fear making mistakes in front of others. This fear can cause stress, and stress blocks your ability to learn. The good news is that you can train yourself to stay calm and enjoy the process. First, remember that mistakes are completely normal. They are a part of learning. Everyone, even native speakers, makes mistakes. Instead of being afraid of them, treat them as learning opportunities. Before speaking or practicing English, take a few deep breaths. Breathing deeply helps slow down your heart rate and relax your mind. If you feel nervous before a conversation or lesson, pause and breathe. Remind yourself that it's okay to speak slowly, and it's okay to make small errors. What matters most is that you are trying and improving. It also helps to practice in a safe, supportive environment. Try speaking English with people who encourage you, friends, family, or a study group. Choose partners who are patient and understanding. When you feel safe and supported, you are more likely to speak without fear. As you gain confidence in small, low-pressure situations, you'll become more relaxed when speaking with others in public or professional settings. Another way to stay calm is to enjoy the learning process. Don't turn language learning into a stressful task. Watch English movies you like, listen to music, or read stories that interest you. Learning through fun activities keeps your mind relaxed and open to new information. Enjoying the journey helps you stay motivated and consistent. Speaking slowly and clearly also helps reduce pressure. You don't need to talk fast to sound fluent. It's better to take your time and speak in a way that people can understand. With more practice, your speed and fluency will naturally improve. Finally, remind yourself often that learning a language is a long journey. You don't need to rush. Every small step forward is progress, and every mistake is a sign that you're learning something new. Keep going at your own pace. Stay calm, be patient with yourself, and celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Relaxation is not just about feeling good. It's a real tool that boosts your brain's ability to learn and perform. So take it easy, breathe deeply, and enjoy the ride. Tip 5. Create your own conversation circle. One of the most powerful ways to improve your English speaking skills is by practicing with other people. Real conversation allows you to use the language in natural, spontaneous ways. Creating a conversation circle, a group of learners who practice English together, is an excellent way to build your fluency, confidence, and listening skills. When you talk with others regularly, English becomes more familiar and less stressful. You don't need a big group to start. Even 2 or 3 people who want to practice English can make a great conversation circle. You can meet in person or online using video calls. Many learners around the world connect through language exchange apps or online communities. What matters most is that everyone in the group agrees to speak only English during the sessions. This creates a focused environment where everyone benefits. Set a regular time to meet, whether it's once a week or a few times a month. Consistency is key. The more often you speak, the faster your skills will improve. Make sure your meetings are friendly and low pressure. Everyone in the group should feel comfortable making mistakes and learning together. Encourage each other and celebrate progress, no matter how small. To make your conversation circle more interesting, choose different topics for each session. You can talk about hobbies, travel, food, movies, or current events. You can also practice asking and answering questions. For example, one week you might discuss your favorite childhood memories, and the next week you might talk about your goals for the future. This keeps things fresh and helps you learn new vocabulary related to different subjects. Another benefit of a conversation group is that it improves your listening skills. You will hear different accents, speaking styles, and sentence structures. This makes you more flexible and better prepared to understand English in real-world situations. It also helps you get used to responding naturally and quickly in a conversation. Conversation circles also give you the chance to support others. When you help someone find a word or correct a mistake gently, you reinforce your own learning too. Teaching and supporting each other is part of the fun, and it creates a positive, productive atmosphere. Remember, the goal is not to speak perfectly, it's to communicate. Don't worry if your sentences are not 100% correct. Focus on sharing your thoughts and understanding others. Over time, grammar and vocabulary will improve naturally. Starting a conversation circle may seem like a small step, but it can make a big difference. It helps you build confidence, practice regularly, and connect with others who share your goal. You'll learn faster, speak more comfortably, and enjoy the process much more. So reach out to a few friends or join an online group. Your conversation circle could be the key to fluent English. Tip 6. Role-play real-life situations. Learning grammar and vocabulary is important, but to truly use English in the real world, you need to practice real-life situations. That's where role-playing comes in. Role-playing means pretending to be in a situation, like ordering food, checking into a hotel, or asking for directions, and acting out both sides of the conversation. This simple technique can greatly improve your fluency, vocabulary, and confidence. Role-playing helps you prepare for the kinds of conversations you'll have in daily life. For example, imagine you're traveling and need to check into a hotel. If you've already practiced that situation, you'll know what to say and how to respond. You'll feel less nervous and more in control. That's the power of role-playing. It gets you ready for real communication. To get started, you just need a partner. This could be a friend, family member, teacher, or another English learner. Choose a situation and decide who will play each role. One person might be the customer and the other the waiter. After practicing one way, switch roles so both of you get to speak from both sides. Here's a simple example. Imagine you are at a restaurant. The customer says, "Hi, I'd like to order a sandwich and a coffee." The waiter responds, "Sure. Would you like anything else?" Then the customer might say, "No, that's all, thank you." Even though this is a short conversation, it helps you practice common words and polite expressions. The more you practice these scenes, the more automatic your responses become. You'll learn how to ask questions, give answers, and use polite forms like, "Could I?" or "Would you mind?" These are important phrases that make your English sound more natural and respectful. You can also write short scripts to guide your practice, especially at the beginning. As you get more comfortable, try doing the role play without a script. This will help you think faster and speak more fluently. You can also challenge yourself by pretending to have a problem in the scenario. For example, you might role-play returning an item at a store or calling customer service to ask for help. Role-playing also builds listening skills, since you need to understand what the other person is saying in order to respond correctly. It teaches you to react in real time and improves your ability to keep a conversation going. Finally, role-playing is fun. It makes practice more interactive and engaging. You can be creative and even act out silly or dramatic scenes just for fun. The important thing is that you're using English actively and with purpose. So if you want to feel more prepared and confident in everyday English conversations, try role-playing. It's a simple, effective, and enjoyable way to bring your language skills to life. Tip 7. Learn to paraphrase in your own words. One of the most effective ways to truly understand and express yourself in English is by learning how to paraphrase. Paraphrasing means taking information you've read or heard and saying it again in your own words. This helps improve both your comprehension and speaking ability. When you paraphrase, you don't just repeat words, you show that you understand the meaning. It also helps you become a more flexible and confident speaker. To start practicing paraphrasing, choose a short text or audio. It could be a paragraph from a news article, a short story, or even a video clip. Read or listen to it carefully and try to understand the main message. Once you feel comfortable with what it says, step away from the material and try to explain it without looking. Say it out loud or write it down in your own words. Don't worry about using the same vocabulary as the original. Instead, focus on keeping the meaning clear and simple. For example, let's say you read a sentence like, "The weather was so bad that the soccer game had to be canceled." A paraphrased version might be, "They stopped the game because of the terrible weather." The idea is the same, but the words are different. This process helps you learn how to describe things in more than one way, which is a powerful skill in conversation. Paraphrasing also helps you remember new vocabulary. When you put ideas into your own words, your brain processes the information more deeply. You understand not just the word itself, but how to use it in different contexts. Over time, this makes your language use more natural and fluent. Another great benefit of paraphrasing is improving your listening skills. When you listen to something and then explain it in your own words, you train your ear to catch the key points. You don't need to remember every word, just the main ideas and important details. This is especially helpful in real-life conversations, where people speak quickly and use many different phrases. You can practice paraphrasing with a study partner too. Listen to something together, then take turns explaining it. You'll see how different people express the same idea, and that will expand your own range of language. You'll also become more confident speaking in English because you'll know there's more than one correct way to say something. In everyday life, paraphrasing is a useful tool. If you don't know an exact word, you can still explain what you mean in a different way. For example, if you forget the word thermometer, you could say, "the thing that tells you how hot or cold it is." The other person will likely understand, and the conversation can continue smoothly. Remember, the goal is communication. Paraphrasing builds your ability to understand, remember, and express ideas clearly. It's not about perfect grammar. It's about showing that you understand and can explain something. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. So take a small article, a video, or even a podcast and start practicing today. Tip 8. Expand your sentences for better speaking. When learning English, it's natural to start with short, simple sentences. But to sound more fluent and expressive, you need to learn how to expand your sentences. This means adding more details, explanations, or descriptions. The expansion technique is a fun and effective way to do just that. It helps you speak more clearly, describe things better, and hold longer conversations. The idea is simple. You begin with a basic sentence, then add more information step by step. Let's take a very short sentence as an example. I have a dog. This sentence is correct, but very basic. Now let's expand it. I have a big, friendly dog. You've added 2 adjectives. Next, make it even better. I have a big, friendly dog who loves to run in the park every morning. Now you have a full, detailed sentence that creates a picture in the listener's mind. Expanding sentences helps you improve your grammar and vocabulary naturally. You'll start using more descriptive words, clauses, and linking phrases like because, which, or who. For example, instead of saying, I like pizza, you could say, I like pizza because it's delicious and easy to make at home. You've now added a reason, which makes your sentence more complete and interesting. You can practice this technique by writing or speaking. Start with one simple sentence every day and try to expand it in 3 to 5 steps. Use adjectives, reasons, examples, or related actions. For instance, begin with, I saw a bird. Expand it to, I saw a small, colorful bird sitting on the tree outside my window. Each step makes your English more vivid and natural. This technique is also great for answering questions in conversations. Imagine someone asks you, what did you do this weekend? If you just say, I stayed home, the conversation might end there. But if you expand your answer, I stayed home because it was raining, so I watched a movie and cooked a new recipe, you've shared more and created more chances for a longer conversation. Expanded sentences help your listener understand you better. They show that you can describe, explain, and express your thoughts clearly. This is a big step toward fluency. You don't have to make every sentence long, but learning how to add information gives you more control over your speaking. Also, writing expanded sentences in a notebook can help you see your progress. You can look back and notice how your vocabulary and sentence structure have improved. It's also a good way to review what you've learned. The expansion technique takes practice, but it's worth it. Over time, your speaking will become smoother, more detailed, and more confident. Don't be afraid to experiment with longer sentences. Just start small, and you'll see improvement with every step. Tip 9. Build unshakable confidence in English. Confidence is often the missing piece when learning to speak English. Many learners know the words, understand grammar, and even practice regularly, but they still hesitate to speak. Why? Because of fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of being judged, or fear of not being understood. Building unshakable confidence is not about being perfect. It's about believing in your ability to communicate and trusting the learning process. The first step to building confidence is to change how you think about mistakes. Mistakes are not signs of failure. They are signs that you are learning, growing, and trying. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. What matters is your response. Instead of feeling embarrassed or frustrated, view mistakes as helpful feedback. Each one is a lesson, a signal that shows you where to improve next. Another powerful mindset shift is to stop comparing yourself to others. Everyone learns at a different pace, and your journey is unique. Focus on your progress, not perfection. Celebrate small wins, finishing a lesson, having a short conversation, or learning 5 new words. These small steps build confidence over time. Positive self-talk also plays a huge role in confidence. Replace negative thoughts like, my English is bad, or I'll never improve with encouraging ones like, I'm improving every day, or I'm proud of my effort. Say these affirmations aloud. They may seem small, but they rewire your brain to support your growth. Confidence grows with action. The more you speak, the more comfortable you'll become. Start with low-pressure situations, talking to yourself, practicing with friends, or recording your voice. As you gain confidence, Challenge yourself to speak in more public or spontaneous settings. Each experience builds your resilience and belief in yourself. Also, don't wait until you feel ready. Confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Take small risks, speak even if you're nervous, and learn from every experience. Confidence will follow. Finally, surround yourself with support. Join groups or online communities where learners encourage one another. Being around others who share your goals and struggles helps you feel less alone and more motivated. Confidence isn't something you either have or don't. It's a skill you can build. With the right mindset, practice, and encouragement, your fear will fade and your confidence will grow stronger every day. Tip 10. Practice role. Switching to stay sharp. To become a truly fluent English speaker, you need to be flexible in conversations. One way to train this flexibility is by practicing role switching. This means taking different roles in a dialogue or scenario, being both the person who asks and the one who answers. It helps you think quickly, listen actively, and respond more naturally. Imagine a simple situation, like ordering food at a restaurant. First, act as the customer. Practice asking for a table, choosing food, and making a polite request. Then, switch roles. Now you're the waiter. Practice welcoming the guest, explaining the menu, and taking the order. By switching roles, you gain a deeper understanding of both sides of the conversation. You also learn to anticipate what others might say, which improves your fluency. Role switching sharpens your listening and speaking at the same time. It encourages you to respond in complete sentences, use appropriate phrases, and think about tone and context. You'll start to understand not just what to say, but how and when to say it. You can practice this technique with a partner, but it also works well on your own. Use simple scripts or create your own dialogues. For example, imagine a phone call between a customer and a support agent. Say both parts out loud, switching voices if you like. This playful method keeps learning fun and active. This technique is especially useful for preparing for real-life situations, job interviews, travel, or social interactions. By practicing both roles, you prepare for unexpected turns in conversation. You won't be stuck if someone responds differently than you expected, because you've already trained your mind to adapt. Role switching also builds confidence. You'll be less afraid of speaking because you've already played out different situations in your mind and voice. You'll start to notice patterns in how conversations flow and pick up useful phrases you can use again and again. To make your practice even better, record yourself. Listening to your own dialogues helps you catch mistakes, improve pronunciation, and track progress over time. You'll be surprised how quickly your speaking becomes smoother and more natural. In short, role switching is a creative, interactive way to boost your fluency, listening skills, and confidence. It prepares you for real conversations in the real world. Whether alone or with a partner, this method keeps your English sharp, strong, and ready for anything. Practice English at home. Your next steps. Now that you've learned 10 powerful tips for improving your English, it's time to take your next steps, and you don't even have to leave your house. Practicing English at home is one of the most effective and comfortable ways to build your skills. You can create your own learning environment, choose your pace, and make English a natural part of your daily life. Start by building a small daily routine. You don't need hours. Just 15 to 30 minutes a day of focused practice can make a big difference. Begin with things you enjoy. Watch a short video, listen to an English podcast, read a story, or talk out loud about your day. When you do something fun in English, learning becomes less like homework and more like a habit. Use the tips in this book to guide your practice. Try shadowing while watching your favorite English show. Tell a short story with new vocabulary. Expand your sentences when writing or speaking. And don't forget to paraphrase or switch roles during practice. You have all the tools you need to keep learning at home. Create a space that supports your learning. It could be a quiet corner with a notebook and headphones, or even your kitchen table with your favorite English book. Make it a spot that feels welcoming and helps you focus. Having a dedicated space, even a small one, tells your brain that it's time to learn. Don't learn alone unless you want to. Use technology to connect with other learners. Join an online group, take part in a language exchange, or start a weekly conversation circle. These activities keep you motivated and help you use your English with real people. Also, track your progress. Keep a simple journal where you write down what you practiced each day. Include new words you learned, mistakes you corrected, or topics you talked about. Reviewing your progress every week or month can be very motivating. It shows how far you've come. The most important part of learning English at home is this: keep going. There will be good days and bad days, but every bit of practice counts. You've already started your journey and you've made progress. Be proud of that. Keep your goals in sight, stay curious, and enjoy the process. Remember, fluency doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from showing up, practicing often, and believing in yourself. Your home is your new classroom. Your mind is ready, and your English journey is just getting started. Keep going. Your English future is bright. Congratulations, you've made it to the end of this guide, and more importantly, you've taken real steps toward improving your English. That alone is something to be proud of. Learning a language is not easy, but you've shown that you're serious, committed, and ready to grow. This is just the beginning of what you can achieve. Let's take a moment to remember what you've learned. You now understand that perfection isn't the goal, communication is. You've learned to use storytelling to remember new words, how to shadow like a pro, and how to relax so you can learn better. You've explored role play, paraphrasing, expanding your sentences, and even switching roles to stay sharp. Each of these tips builds your skills in real, meaningful ways. But tips alone are not enough. The real magic happens when you take action. So I encourage you, starting today, to pick one tip and use it. Speak out loud, even if you're alone. Record your voice. Tell a story using 5 new words. Ask a friend to role play with you. These small actions lead to big results. Also, remember that your home is a powerful classroom. You don't need to travel to an English-speaking country or pay for expensive lessons to become fluent. Everything you need is already around you: videos, music, books, your own voice, and your imagination. The more you use English in your daily life, the faster you will improve. Don't forget about your mindset. Stay calm when you make mistakes and celebrate every little success. Progress is not always fast, but it's always possible. Every time you try, you're getting better, even if you can't see it right away. And if you ever feel lost or need a little encouragement, come back to this book. Reread a chapter, practice a tip again, and remind yourself why you started. Better yet, Visit the Read and Learn English YouTube channel, where you'll find even more videos, exercises, and a community of learners just like you. This journey doesn't end here. In fact, it's only just beginning. Keep reading, keep listening, keep speaking, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. Thank you for choosing this guide as your learning partner. I hope it helps you grow in confidence, skill, and joy. The English-speaking world is waiting for you with open arms. So go on,